Hello, virtuous thought leaders, scholars, and virtue change agents. My name is Dr. Lisa Marie Portugal, and I am the Leadership Architect. I'd like to welcome you today to another talk that I have prepared for you and in service to you and your goals. This is a three-part series, and this is the last part, the third talk, and it comes out of one of my many books. It's called Ethical Leadership Theory and Best Practices. So let's take a look at this graphic. Free thinkers will always seem crazy to those who don't take the time to research, and never apologize for evolving past people's comfort zone. Very cool, right? All right, so here's the table of contents. We'll go into About My Page, Introduction, Ethical Leadership, Leadership Initiative, Conclusion, and then References. Here's my About page, and if you're interested in reading through that, you can stop the audio and read through it. I've read through it many times before, but I'm not going to this time. And I'm going to ask you an opening question that you can think about as we go through this short talk. What are your leadership principles? Now, I've asked before in other talks to think about what is your leadership brand. You know, the brand that you want to aspire to, that you want to put on and wear, so that whenever somebody, researches you on the internet or you work with people in person, they can easily recognize what your leadership brand is. And along with that, what are your leadership principles? Very important to think about. Okay, so let's get started. Introduction. The most effective and authentic leaders tend to be individuals who are responsive in finding ways to bring out the best in others. I love that. Organizations that are successful tend to care about cultivating leaders in the soft skills necessary in effectively leading technical individuals in dynamic environments and situations. Foremost, compelling leadership stems from a genuine concern for others and a genuine caring for the work. Leadership requires emotional investment and connection to the well-being of others. When authentic leadership is manifest, individuals want to be participants in an efficacious community meeting one's needs. Learn how to transform your leadership style and manifest authentic leadership qualities that others will want to follow. All right, and let's take a look at the next slide. Here we go. Ethical leadership. What is that? What should it look like? Managers who are unsuccessful typically spend more time promoting themselves rather than working, and can fail to meet institutional goals. These types of individuals can be overly selfish and ambitious, and oftentimes are not consistent on promises made to others. Bad managers can be perceived as unable to see the big picture when promoted into a general management position, cannot develop and build cohesive, effective teams, do not learn from mistakes and feedback, are not trustworthy, and are critical and insensitive. Various leadership studies have documented that the most common oversights leaders tend to make are not technical mistakes, but rather people mistakes. The most effective and authentic leaders tend to be individuals who are authentically responsive in finding ways to bring out the best in others. Organizations that are successful tend to care about cultivating leaders in the soft skills necessary in effectively leading technical individuals in dynamic environments and situations. So, authentic leadership, in my view, is not about the big corner office with the window in the building. That's not authentic leadership. So let's continue on. And towards the end of this talk, I'm going to give you an example, a real world example of what authentic leadership really does look like. Okay, so individuals with strong leadership skills understand that effectiveness depends on various sophisticated personal attributes that can be complex to pinpoint, but are very compelling when present. These characteristics include humility, I love that, courage, one of my favorite words, integrity, also that, and enthusiasm. Furthermore, individuals desire to align themselves in contribution to a worthy agenda or achievement. Management typically can be engrossed in solving problems and providing answers, while leadership depends upon courage to learn and trust from others, listen to others, and acknowledge doubts and mistakes. You can see the differences there, can't you? So learning, fostering, and manifesting leadership attributes requires effort, which you're doing today. You're putting in effort to become better at what you do. So let's take a look at more of leadership initiative here. For effective, authentic leadership to occur, individuals might need to experience an exploration of personal understanding and self-discovery. Researchers in leadership studies acknowledge that a key distinction of authentic leadership is 1, they know what they stand for, and 2, they know who they are. I love that, don't you? I mean, I know what I stand for and I know who I am. And hopefully you do as well. And I didn't always know these things about myself, but as time goes on and we learn from our experiences, we start to put the pieces together of who we are, what we stand for, what's important to us, right? So remember that question that I asked you earlier, what are your leadership principles? Finally, effective, authentic leaders manifest the bravery and the endurance to act on one's beliefs. Typically, leadership mirrors society at large, and over time, various leadership theories, concepts, and practices have emerged as understandings, attitudes, and norms to guide and shape new leaders in the pursuit of better strategic methods when managing others. Now, before I get to the conclusion slide, let me give you an example of what true, authentic leadership looks like in my book. So as you can see from some of my many talks and my About page, I've worked on many degrees, right? So along with that type of work and writing and researching, writing books and publishing peer-reviewed studies and helping my students to grow better and stronger, it takes a lot of sitting down. So at this point in my life, I've got to kick up my exercise and fitness game. So I sought out a change agent and a leader in exercise and fitness. And at my gym, there's a beautiful young lady called Miss Ellie, and she actually graduated in exercise and sports sciences from one of the institutions that I teach for. So she also trains athletes as well. So she is an expert at what she does, and she's a leader in the community. Now, I'm going to give you a secret. You probably have already heard this maybe in different ways, but I'm going to give you my way to kind of highlight some bullet points that I think are important about leadership. The key to leadership and to success, your success and your leadership success, is follow your interests and your passion. Right? So I have followed my interests and my passion, and it has led me to the work that I do today, and I'm an expert at what I do, and I'm always working on self-improvement so that I can be better for the people that I work with. So similar to Miss Ellie in exercise and sports sciences, she followed her interests and her passion. And when you do that, you know, you'll always hear somebody say, just follow what you love, but then they never follow it up with anything else. The reason why that's important is if you're following what you love, your passion and your interests, you're going to work harder at it. You're going to research more about it, about that topic. You're going to learn as much as you can. You're going to apply it to your own daily best practices for yourself. You're going to make those improvements in your own life, and you're going to become that expert. And then when you go out into the world and you put your hard work and your research into practice every day for others in the work that you do in the world, others will look to you because you are now modeling an example of true, authentic leadership and praxis, Praxi. It's the word for practice in sociology. So that is what Miss Ellie does for me. She is a leader in the community, and she's going to help me become better at my fitness and exercise game because she is the expert and she is the leader in that area. So that's a good example for you. Anything that interests you and that is your passion, follow it, and you will find that you will want to be the best at it. And that's how you will rise to be the leader in your community, and you will model for others the way. So hopefully that kind of explains it with a few more insights and bullet points for you. So now let's get to the conclusion slide here. And let me ask you some important questions. What motivates you? What inspires you to do your personal best? That can be different for all of us, right? What is your passion or passions if you have more than one? And what are you doing every day to research, work on, and practice your interests and passion? That's what's going to take you to the top of your game. You will be viewed as the expert and the leader in your community for others. And I love this beautiful quote. The ones who win are the ones who keep going after everyone else has quit. And how do we keep going after the others fall away? Well, you love it, of course, and it's what motivates you. All right, so that concludes the talk today. Here is my reference I've taken from one of my own books called Ethical Leadership in Healthcare, Theory and Best Practices. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was my honor and my pleasure to serve you. God bless.